Hello and welcome to another episode of the Christian Reeve Podcast. Today's guest is the singer and bassist of three-piece Midwest emo band Hospital Full Stop. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Yeah, good. It's Hostel Radio Full Stop. Yeah.
I fucked up the only part that... I'm just going to say this, right? So I was so fixated on this full stop thing, right? Because there are other bands called Hospital Radio.
Yeah.
And you guys went with the Hospital Radio Full Stop thing. Let's start there. Is there a story behind this name? Why the full stop? So many questions.
So we just go by Hospital Radio publicly, but the full stop came from Spotify. So the fact that there were so many bands with Hospital Radio on Spotify, we were like, oh, well, we want to keep the name, but we need some differentiation. So we did Hospital Radio Full Stop. And then we spoke to a guy, and he was saying, well, if you're Hospital Radio kind of like Anderson.pack, I don't know if you've seen that, you kind of need it in your branding. So we then did that, yeah.
It's a bit like when you're trying to come up with different email addresses, and you're just like, I'll just put a number there. Oh, that'll do.
yeah, a number, a letter that's changed, everything like that. No, absolutely.
So when you get introduced on stage, it's just Hospital Radio. It's not Hospital Radio Full Stop.
Just Hospital Radio. But when we say the Instagram, everyone's like, God, I can't find you. And I'm like, I know. So I say it every time now we're on stage. Just Hospital Radio Full Stop.
I don't know why I'm just so mesmerised by this full stop thing. All right. Let's get back on track, shall we? So, walk us through your journey into music. Where did it all begin for you?
Oh, well, God. So... I've been playing music probably since I was about 4 or 5 years old. Typical recorder lessons in school, and then we had the opportunity to pick up an instrument at the age of like an actual instrument. Not saying the recorder's not an actual instrument; it can be used amazingly, but by a group of 4-year-olds, it's very subjective. But about the age of sort of 6, 7, like between the ages of 6 and 7, my mum and dad said, "Do you want to play some music?" So I was like, oh, "Absolutely." So chose clarinet, and then played clarinet, then went on saxophone, and then went at the age of sort of 16, 17. Noticed my dad had a guitar, started picking up and playing the guitar, and then just sort of went from there. Played bass in bands, guitar in bands, things like that, and just was absolutely obsessed with the whole. Like playing music live, writing and recording as well.
Before we get into that, I just want to come back to the recorder thing. So, I don't think I've ever seen, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there is a band or famous artist out there that uses a recorder. Is there any band or artist that like is famous for just using a recorder? Because in my estimations, I've only ever heard it being used to torture, primary school teachers.
I think I'm probably on the same point of view as you. So a family friend actually is grade 8 in recorder.
Oh,
so that was mind blowing. When we used to sort of when I was much younger, they would always play like Christmas songs on recorder, and they played very well. As you can imagine, grade 8 recorder, they're going to be to a high standard. But don't know anyone that's got a famous recorder section.
Because it's interesting, you said then I transitioned on the clarinet, and in my mind, recorder is like the warm-up for if you're taking this seriously, now you get to graduate and do clarinet, and that makes sense in my mind, because you can actually have, is it the steel section? Is that right? Brass, wind?
Oh yeah, brass, woodwind. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly. Yeah. So I almost felt like playing clarinet was like getting my pen license in primary school. So I moved away from pencil, moved away from recorder, got my pen license.
What was that shit all about?
I've got no idea, mate. Got no idea. No idea.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but let's just briefly talk about that. So when we were at school, how old are you, by the way? If you don't mind me asking?
30.
Same as me. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, so when we were at school, for some reason in primary school, it was a really fucking big deal in the later years to work up towards a pen license. So we all obviously had to use pencil, and then there were a few kids that got to use pens instead, and they'd graduated to do that by demonstrating that they had good handwriting. But then if you waited like a year or something, we all ended up using them anyway, so it didn't really fucking matter.
Yeah,
but,
no, absolutely.
Oh, they really made a big deal out of that shit as well.
It's just being competitive for competitive sake, I think, and it's just sort of been throughout the entire schooling and everything. It was driven into you, isn't it? You know, like do well in sport, do well in this. I mean, and you know, it's good. I think achievement's great, but I don't think you need to be competitive about writing. So, yeah.
What are you saying, that your pen license didn't take you far in life, Mike? Is that what
my pen license is not currently being used in my current job, considering I type for 9 hours a day. I think that's about it.
I always just think about like when the teachers used to say like, "Oh, you won't be able to use a calculator in the future." And then that's literally what everyone fucking does in every instance. No one's using their brain anymore, which is kind of depressing, right. But it was true. Like every time I work in like a custom service job and I got to do a quick transaction and the computer can't do it for me, guess whose phone is coming out?
Yeah, straight away. I think I've only ever done like maybe in a pub quiz. I think that might be the last time I did not use a calculator, but that's about it. I mean,
it's good to have like good mental math skills and stuff like that, but like whenever it gets to kind of long division and shit like that, it's like it's quicker and probably more efficient to use the computer, and if anything, to double check your answer. So if you have good math skills and you can do that. Why the fuck are we talking about maths? What the fuck? Sorry, I just realised, of all the things, I hate maths. I loathe maths with a passion. Maths is like the scourge of my existence. I don't think about maths anymore, but for some reason we're talking about fucking maths. Let's move on. Fuck maths. So, is there any specific thing that, like, because you mentioned a few different things that got you into music there, and I wonder, like, because you said your dad played guitar, was that like a particularly big kind of influence for you, or? So
I'll say my dad didn't play guitar. My dad was bought a guitar by my mum for a birthday or an anniversary present or something. But both my mum and dad were very musical. So my dad was well into drama, did loads of musical. Like he was a drama and English teacher, and ran sort of like an amateur dramatics thing. So he would direct loads of musicals and things like that. And my mum played the flute to a very high level. My mum sings really well. So I had sort of all this music coming at me all the time. So anything from, you know, West Side Story to the Beatles to punk music from my dad to everything. So I just had it all being fed into me all at once. So yeah, it was great.
So let's bring it to Hospital Radio. How did Hospital Radio come together?
Well, the ancient and archaic social media network that is now Facebook got us all together. There was so Hospital Radio was started, I think, pre-COVID, or maybe just as COVID was about, or maybe just in between or something. But it was a guy called Jose and Russo, who is our guitarist. They formed a band with a couple of other people. They tried to get some practices going. I don't think people showed up and things like that. They, you know, the whole meet in a pub. Yeah, we're going to make a band. We're going to take over the world, and then it all just sort of falls apart. But they wrote a few songs over COVID, I think, sort of together. They would just sort of go back and forward between each other, and then they got to a point where I think I moved up to Manchester in either 2022, 2023. It's probably 2023.
Where are you from?
I'm from Hereford. So
okay.
yeah. So the West Midlands, near Wales. We're not really sure what we are. So moved up, and I just saw this advert come out, and so me and the drummer both joined, and it was originally a 4-piece. We were going to try and get a bassist as well, so I sort of signed up to be the singer. We're going to try and get a bassist. As you can imagine, trying to organise 4 people at one time is near impossible. Trying to organise 5 people would have been even worse. So I just said, look, I'll pick up bass, I'll play, and then. Jose's wife had a baby, so obviously, you know, life takes the president there, doesn't it? And so he left, and then now it's just us 3. So just me, Russo, and Curtis. Yeah.
Would you say the dynamic has changed a lot in going from a 4-piece to a 3-piece?
100%. So how would you put it? So I've always kind of written songs as kind of a thing. Like I've always just like on an acoustic guitar, and then later on getting into music technology, sort of writing on a Mac, but mostly acoustic guitar now. Just sort of, and I would just bring the ideas, bring song ideas, and then and Jose was fantastic at like tearing songs apart and bringing them back together. So he would like take sections and be like, "This is cool, but let's move this to here. Let's do all that," and that's kind of changed, and also the sounds changed. So Jose was very pop punk influenced, like Green Day, Blink, all that sort of stuff, like kind of pop punk, skate punk sort of stuff, and Russo was very Midwest emo, so like Free Throw, American Football, like all those sorts of amazing Midwest bands, and we were kind of doing a bit more of the pop punky thing, and we've kind of gone more over into the Midwest thing, but we aren't even that Midwest. Our guitar stuff is very Midwest, but I'd say the rest of our stuff is kind of emo adjacent, to put it.
For those, because I know exactly what you're talking about, but for those who don't know, like if you had to kind of explain to an alien or someone who's just has no idea, what exactly is Midwest emo as a genre?
So emo as a thing, as a general thing, is probably easier. So that comes from like hardcore punk and emotional punk, and then down the years from the 80s all the way through to now, you've ended up with a huge sort of scene which goes from anything from My Chemical Romance all the way over to American Football and Sunny Day Real Estate and all that. Now within that kind of vein, Midwest emo can often have things like jazz influences, sort of time signature changes, can be a bit mathy, has that kind of, you know, you'll be like 4/4 1 minute and then 7/8 and then something else and then something else. Really twinkly like guitars. If you're from Champaign, Illinois, you're in Midwest land, so yeah, that's kind of it. I'd say it's, and then obviously very emotive. Some may say depressing lyrics.
Oh, really? Yeah. I love all those people on TikTok that do like, I'm going to take this song and like make it into a Midwest emo song, and it always turns out excellent.
I think better. I think better.
I've yet to hear a bad Midwest emo song. Like that's yeah. I challenge anyone to find me a bad one. There you go. That's your challenge for today. Right. Let's because you mentioned a little bit about your songwriting. Let's jump straight into that. So, what is your kind of approach to songwriting? Because everyone's a little bit different.
So I have kind of two ways, which is so I'll like have for example, just messing around on guitar, just playing guitar chords, see if a guitar part fits together. And then if that fits together quickly, normally the lyrics come immediately. So I will sort of have 95% of the lyrics done within that kind of just getting guitar chords laid out. And some take a fair bit longer. So I'll have like lyric lines and stuff, and I'll try and piece some together and then try and get that to fit. So it's normally guitar first, but then with longer songs, like songs that take a bit more, it can be lyrics then guitar. But yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but I stand by it and still think so, that I learnt to play guitar from learning all of Ed Sheeran's first album. The first album is it's amazing, absolutely amazing songwriting, and I learnt the whole thing. And that's how I learnt to play kind of your open basic chords. I'm not so sure about the later stuff, but the first album, first few EPs, everything he did there, absolutely incredible. So that's how I learnt to play guitar, was through that way. It
brings me into a solid point actually, which is that like whenever people ask me like, oh, how do I learn to play guitar? Like, how did you learn? And it's like, well, for me, back in my day, it was all like chord books and shit, and trying to figure out what the fuck are these chord diagrams and stuff. And it wasn't until early internet in the mid 2000s that I sort of begun to grasp it a little bit. But like yourself, I started going, oh, I want to learn this song. Yeah. And sometimes it'd be a bit complex, and I'd have to like learn like, oh, what's this chord? This is a sus. What the fuck is that? and then you just discover like your favorite chords, I guess. And then obviously there's the key chords that are used in most songs, and then all the songs that kind of, or genres, sorry, that tend to use and favor certain chords or certain tunings, and then just go into like this rabbit hole of stuff. But honestly, I've discovered a lot of really, really useful chords that I've used again and again through that mindset. And I think for anyone who's just starting out on guitar, that's a really good way of getting into it, is to just kind of pick an artist that you like and just start learning their tunes. Is there any advice you could give to up and coming guitarists based on your experiences?
So I would say that you will learn what you want to. So things like if you so like I know I've seen so many Instagram guitarists now who like just like are like playing like the bands like Polyphia and Chon just like immediately, like just don't imagine that's the standard. Imagine just find something you like that's simple enough and then put it together. I don't know if you ever used him, Marty's Guitars, the guy on YouTube. You always wore like a pork pie hat, and he sort of had like a middle America accent, and he'd play. He used to play either acoustic or like a big Epiphone sort of dot kind of thing, and he would teach like, hey, I think he taught me how to play Fast Car and all that sort of thing, just from YouTube, and I was just like, yeah.
It's a lot easier than people think. Because I know what you mean. It's quite daunting when you see all these guitarists and they're like just sweet picking and all this shit, and it's like a lot of that is just showing off.
It's showboating, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this in so many bands I've been in, and like when people have asked me about music and songwriting, I think that the best way to approach a song is play to the song. It's not to say you can't have some impressive stuff in it, but if you go and you listen to like any Eddie Van Halen solo, it will work perfectly within the song. It won't be like out of place, you know. And I think that comes from really paying attention to the song itself rather than just paying attention to your little, 1 minute solo.
It's exactly that. I mean, that's kind of how we've seen the band sort of come together as well, because we're like, because we're only a three-piece, we can't really have solos. So and Russo being the big Midwest fan that he is, I'm finding myself much more supporting him on bass instead of having to go off in my own way, where bands like TTNG, you can see the impressiveness across both, whereas I'm just like, I'll just do my singing bit, and then he can singing and bass bit, and then he can just go wild in all these beautiful, amazing melodies and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like, he does do all like some very impressive stuff, but it very much fits the song. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as well, if you're singing and playing guitar or singing and playing bass, like you're more focused on that. Like I know, I know how it is. Like you're more focused on the vocal side of things. Like I've had friends who've been like, "Oh, your song's pretty easy, like pretty easy to play," and it's like, yeah, because I focus on the vocal melodies, man. Like I try to do some interesting stuff guitar wise, but you always have to remember, if you're going to be singing on that track, then having like a really difficult math metal song or whatever the fuck is gonna, just something to think about.
Have you ever written a song like or a part on guitar that you're like, because I've done this myself, have you ever written a part on guitar and you're like, wow, that's amazing, and then you try and sing over the top and you're like, there is no way I can sing over that? Have you ever done that? Because I've done that so many times.
Yeah, but also I think I find the bigger problem I have is when I go into the studio to record something, I'm like, so I already struggle playing this live anyway. When I put this down and it's the definitive, this is what people will expect to hear. Maybe instead of just continuously playing this part while I sing, I'll make like a easier version when I'm singing, and when I'm not singing, harder. And then there you go, And it's,
no, absolutely.
It feels lazy, but at the same time, it's like, at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one playing it. So, But I know, but then again, that's what, loop pedals are for. So.
That's true.
I don't know. It's like right now, I'm just acoustic. So I'm trying to get to a point where I have a band, and then I can kind of work around that. But like a lot of it kind of goes back to what we were saying before. You know, you build around what's going on in the songs, and then when you're live, I mean, it's kind of a whole other thing entirely, isn't it? You build it around what you want to represent the sound to be. So it's like what's on record, it might sound different live, you might do it faster, you might change parts, you know. It's which brings me on to my next question. Is there any major differences in how you play things live compared to on record?
So we'll add things. So for example, so say like in a guitar part, there'll be like a melody, and then like a space, and then say we've written a whole song out. So we work a lot with a guy called Ryan Jordan, who's down in Herefordshire, who records at AR, which is his studio, and he's a fantastic like producer. He's a producer's producer. He's kind of like, he'll suggest so much stuff and add and things like that. So he works really well with the point of being like, oh, there could be a cool melody here, so there could be a cool thing here, and you know, lo and behold, I'm like Russo, like, do your thing. Or if it needs drums, I'm like, Curtis, do your thing. Like, I really take a step back. But within doing that, what's fantastic is that Russo will work out a part, or Curtis will work out a part that's easy to play from the one section to the other. So then it becomes the live performance after. So it can then just be rehearsed and things like that.
And that is exactly my expectation from a producer. Yeah. Like I've been in the studio recently recording music for next year, and that is exactly what I expected from shout out to Harry, and he delivered, and it was, the thing about it as well is like there's always that initial apprehension of like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat, but at the same time, artists, if you're going in the studio, open the door to the producer, let them in, and kind of, because they're going to push you to your limits. A good producer will push you to your limits and push you to get the best sound out of yourself, but also to give you an objective opinion, because they're not in the band, but they're going to hear things from a listener's perspective that might potentially enhance your sound. I'm not saying like you should just always be like, yeah, you're right, but like, you know, hear them out. I think there's something to it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I've been in bands with Ryan before, and that's kind of, and I've recorded with him on other projects, like other bands I've been in and stuff like that. So I like the way that he's like, oh, this melody would be good here, and bringing this in would be good here, because, and I think that the lads as well appreciate it, because it's like, I've kind of had an open door policy with him of just being like, I'll shoot ideas to him, he shoots ideas to me, stuff like that, and then the lads have just come in and been like, yeah, I think, yeah, so yeah.
Let's talk about shows. Let's talk about live performances. So, we'll start negative and come back positive.
Yeah.
Worst show so far. Let's go.
In this band or ever?
Any stories that come to mind, I guess. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, there's a few. So in this band, I don't think it was anyone's fault particularly, but there's two instances I can think of. So unfortunately, Mother Mary's is closed down, which is a big shame. I loved that venue. Great pizza, great pints, just a good place. Our second ever show, right? So we played in Barry down in South Wales the night before, and then drove up to then play in Mother Mary's the next day. So our second ever show, we're halfway through the set. I've realised, I can't see anything on stage. I've got no loom inlays, so I'm playing all the wrong notes all the time. And then so I just ask him, can I get a light on me? So that's great. That's resolved. And then all of a sudden, this really heavy delay starts kicking in on my vocals, and I don't know why. I don't think it was anyone's fault whatsoever. I think basically the mixer just sort of started to play up. I saw the sound guy trying to fix it, everything. So every line was like, no. And it was just, by the end of it, it was really funny. It was really funny. Another one, which was a show that wasn't necessarily bad. wasn't necessarily bad for any kind of reason. I mean, we are such a small time band, so we're not expecting that many people there. But we played to one guy at a table with then this with then this Irish punk band that we were supporting called, I think, No Matrix or something like that. And the headline band were class, absolutely amazing. And we were playing in Northwich, and it was this really, really cool pub. But it was just this one guy, and he was having the best time of his life. But we were just like, I just feel a bit like just like sort of unawares. So yeah, I'd say those two. There is one other, which is a solo show where I went to the toilet, thought everything was okay, and then it came back out, played a solo show, and realised that I had a really big wet patch on the inside of my leg. So I tied my shirt round, and I was just like, right, I've got to keep that there and keep that. And it was honestly, I've never been so annoyed at myself. So the show wasn't great. I'd done that, just about to go on stage. I tied my shirt around me like an apron. I looked a bit deranged. I didn't really know what was going on, but yeah. So there's three for you. This
is why we always wear black jeans, people.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was wearing like cream Carhartt cargo trousers, so it just wasn't the one.
It reminds me of an old Ricky Gervais story where he's talking about going to the doctors, and I don't know for what reason he had to. Maybe it was a prostate. No, not prostate.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like doing the thing where it's like they cup the balls and you cough or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have actually been for prostate, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's a thing guys have to do in their 40s, apparently. Yeah. Anyway, that was right. He had to piss in a cup for the test, and obviously when he'd come back, he realised that like he had a bit of a same thing, big wet patch there. So he tried to like fold his boxes in a way to sort of hide it, but it's there. And he used to say like, the doctor saw it, everybody fucking saw it. Like, I would just die inside, man.
Oh, it was honestly, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, the worst thing is that the venue that happened is one of my favourite pubs in the world. So thankfully, I'm hoping no one saw.
No one would have cared, man. Shit happens.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring you out of your trauma and into a positive place. Best shows you've played so far.
I've got one immediately. So we played a show on Saturday, which would have been the 22nd. 22nd, is that right? 22nd at the Eagle Inn, which was organised by.
Heard about that place.
Amazing, like such a cool room with organised by Powell Promotions. Which is kind of like an amalgamation of this other emo band When Suddenly and their manager Jay. They do this thing called Powell Promotions, and they put the show on with us opening, When Suddenly on second, Latchkey Kids, and Campfire Social headlining. Honestly, my favourite show I've ever played. It's quite a nice tight room, so there was enough people in there to make it really. Feel really packed and really, really cool. The sound guy, John, ran a tight ship, wasn't taking no messing, but best sound I've ever had. I could hear everything. And after the show, he was incredibly complimentary. I've just thought best show I've ever been part of. Immediately, and I would recommend if any musician gets approached by Powell to play. They will give you if you're either headlining or supporting, they will give you an amazing lineup that will complement you fantastically. So yeah, they're definitely big up to When Suddenly and Powell Promotions. They're fantastic.
Solid, man. I saw that being advertised. I wanted to go, but I couldn't because I was working. But it looked
absolutely.
Like
it was great. It was absolutely amazing.
Let's talk feedback. How long has the band been together now, roughly?
I'd say 2 years, but we've only been gigging since May. So, because things happen kind of since.
But how long have you had music out for as well?
July.
Oh, because it's all pretty newish in a sense.
July.
Yeah.
I'd say July.
Okay.
Yeah, July.
let's get an idea of like what people are saying, because I can see that your music's reaching people around the world as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
The good and the bad. What's the kind of best and worst feedback you've sort of received so far?
So I don't know if you've seen BSB TV. So it's like Blood, Sweat and Beers.
Love that name.
I mean, yeah, if you write rock music or anything, like I mean, I'd say it to you, Christian, as well. Definitely put your stuff on there. They're a Twitch channel, so you just submit. They review it live on, and normally they have like an industry person on or like a member of a band on, just to like review and sort of go through the songs and stuff. And we uploaded our first tune, Dreaming, and they were incredibly complimentary, like comparing us to bands like Hot Mulligan, who are like possibly, I think Tades is one of my favourite vocalists. I think the first album, Pilot, for Russo is possibly one of the greatest things ever made for him. So yeah, so we were super hyped about that, and they were just really complimentary about it, about being our first release and about how we can only go up from there. Not so good feedback. I've seen people roll their eyes live. That's
really?
One. I've seen people roll their eyes live. Yeah, because we're often on quite. I don't know if you find this, especially because you know, I think we've done like an open mic together at the Grafton with Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, and I obviously, so you gig in Manchester, where we've been put with indie bands quite frequently who just, you know, like, and I love indie music. I think the second Arctic Monkeys album is in my top 10 forever. I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I've seen people roll their eyes and not be too happy about what we've been playing and stuff. So I think it's funny, man. I think it's funny. That's probably best and worst.
I gotta say on that note as well, like, if you're ever watching a band and they're out of place on the lineup, it's not the band's fault. They didn't fucking book themselves. A promoter booked that and put them together. And look, it's stupid at the end of the day. When you've got sounds that clash, it's going to clash. You know, and that's not the band's fault. Like, you've just come in there to do your thing. So, you know, it's I don't know. I find stuff like that is just... it's just part of the industry, really, isn't it? But it's
yeah. It's but it has gone the other way though. So I mean, I'll always say this: the metal scene scene is one of the most inclusive scenes in ever. Full stop. They'll take anyone in and make them feel, you know, at home and warm. And we've played with metal bands, and they have been nothing but like nice, and like we've been the lightest band on a bill, we've been the heaviest band on a bill, and like with certain sort of in the alternative emo metal scene, and every time we're in that scene, we're always, you know, very much accepted.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of that is because metal fans in general are music fans, and side note, I'm going to be cutting off all my hair next weekend, and during the course of having long hair, there's been this assumption that I'm like this big heavy metal guy, and I was in a few metal bands growing up. I don't mind metal. I don't really listen to it much anymore, but I'm big on like going to gigs now. It's interesting. Like, I don't really sit and listen to stuff as much as I did, but I go to gigs and I fucking love just, I don't know, there's something about that. Maybe it's because I'm playing again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess my point with this is there's this weird assumption, like, because I don't pay too much attention to what people think about me. It's none of my business. But when people have that assumption, they're like, oh, I didn't think you would like this or that. And I'm like, well, music is vibes, isn't it? Like,
100%.
It's different things. Like, whenever I've played gigs, I've paid a lot of attention to, you know, who's there, what you know, the other bands. Like, I'd be the type of guy that would, even if I'm on last, I'd show up early and just watch all the bands because I'm a fan of music. You know, like, it's just, might discover something you like. You know? Yeah,
no, 100%. I mean, it was a rule that was set out in like earliest bands, was just like, you get there whenever you get there, always early. You always leave after the last band, and that's kind of something I've tried to stick to in every case, as has every other member of Hospital Radio. So yeah,
it's like, unofficial common courtesy thing. I remember I did one of Michael's. Shout out to Michael. He does the Grafton on a Tuesday. So he used to do this venue in Northern Quarter in Manchester. So these places are in Manchester, by the way. I should say that. Anyone who is a musician, come to Manchester. There's a lot of great places to play. If you're doing open mics, I'd hit up Michael's and Sophie's as well. Some good ones going around. Anyway, he was doing. I think it used to be called Blockbuster. And then they changed it.
Oh yeah. We did that one. That was our first. That was just us getting out playing live and a couple of panic attacks and things like that. So that was fun.
So I showed up with a friend and we were just playing, and it was interesting. We were outside having a cigarette. I'd catching up with Michael. I'd not seen him in a bit, and we were just chatting, and then I think I might have asked him like, "Oh, what's the run order? Who's coming? Like, what can we expect?" kind of thing. And there was a couple there, and they were nice. They'd come up for the weekend from, I think, Brighton or somewhere. An older couple, musicians, and they were nice, but they were a little bit pushy with Michael.
Yeah,
and me and Michael have both done open mic hosting and sound engineering and stuff, so we share a lot in common on that. And I've told this story before, but it's just, if you know Michael, you'll know exactly what I mean. So they're pushing, and they're like, "Oh, we really need to go on soon, like first, like we got to leave soon, or something like that." They're just pushing, but they were kind of rude with how they did it.
Yeah,
and so they go in. And like, bear in mind, we're all early. Like, it's not starting for a while anyway. And I remember just Michael's got this look on his face that he does.
Yes, I know already.
You know the look. He kind of just like rolled his eyes and then stared and looked at me like, and we just didn't have to say anything. I just started laughing.
I just always imagine whenever because we played a lot of Michael's events and stuff, and whenever he encountered that, I always just imagined the sound of silence being played underneath. Like, just always imagined it, because it is that look. He always looks so done.
Well, he's great at like hiding his truth. Wow, I say. You never know. Put it like this: you'll never know if he was annoyed at you. You'll never know. He's very professional at it. But yeah, you're right. I think with certain stuff like that, he's pretty done. And this couple, so this is why I brought this up, they went on first.
Yeah. Everyone
sat there politely and watched. It was tough to get through.
Yeah.
To be honest. But, respectful. Everyone's respectful. They were quite... what's the word I would use? So bear in mind, it's an open mic is a room full of musicians, and look, no one's. Some people show up with egos, and that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Everyone's just got okay, mate.
Yeah.
Right. But most people are just like, "Oh, you're right, mate." And you make some connections, and you chat, and you watch the music, and that's it. Really, they were kind of diva-ish, maybe. The wife was a bit diva-ish, and. They finished, they said thank you, and they were like, "Oh, so we've got to go, bye, see ya, thank you so much." And it was like, okay, so you pushed Michael to start early, you whined, you kept whining, you got what you wanted, and then you immediately left and didn't bother to even just stay for one.
I know, like one or two, it's 30 minutes, isn't it? It's 30 minutes, and I doubt the fact that on a Sunday they'd have a train to catch at that time. Like 30 minutes, just chill. It's a bit. What are you going to do? Get home half an hour earlier. That's it.
It's I mean, an open mic set's like 15 minutes. You can stay
exactly.
for 15 minutes. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I completely know what you mean. It's like, I've seen it a lot, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, no, it's yes, it's a struggle to watch as well. It's a struggle to watch people do that, because you're just like, so you turn up again and try and do this again. It's just going to be like, another little barrier is going to come up and another little back. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah.
Well, I've done the opposite as well. Like, it sounds petty, but when there's like a band that doesn't bother to be there for anyone else, and then they sit down and also they go on stage, I'm like, oh, is it time to go for a cigarette? I think so. Just go out and like,
yeah.
Oh, is it time to go back in? And then you come back in and you catch like a bit of their song.
You time 15 minutes. You're like, yeah, last 30 seconds. That's all good.
It's like 2 can play at that game, fucker.
Yeah.
No, but it's the silliness and funniness of it all. Because I think most people are just like, look, you're trying to promote your stuff. You know, in your case, it's like, okay, we've got a gig coming up. Let's hit a few open mics. Let's play a bit. Hey guys, if you want to come check us out, and it works. I've gone to gigs
it does.
Of bands that have played, and it's a good little advertising slot, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move it on. Goals for the band. What are we aiming for? What are we trying to do?
I mean, dream goal would be, I'd say if we could get like an opening slot at Slam Dunk is possibly our biggest dream. We'd like to do, I think, an achievable one. We'd like to sell out night and day if we could. I think you know,
very doable.
I think that's a goal. If we can do a sellout show there, I think that's possibly that, and then an album, sellout night and day. I think those are our two first steps. That would be
album launch at Night and Day Cafe.
Yeah.
If you pull it off, I give you my word, I will be there. I'll pay and I will show up and I'll be there.
Amazing, thank you, Christian. Thank you.
Right, moving it away just from you and just kind of talking like you're, a little bit on you, and then we'll talk about it sort of in general stuff. So, would you say you've had more successful momentum from online advertising or playing shows? Because I find this is quite interesting these days.
I mean, success, I guess, like
attention,
listens. Yeah. I'd say we got. So we've got some attention from some some people, like from some bands in America, just from being on like BSB TV and things like that, which is cool.
So that's huge as well, because if they come and do an American tour, Europe tour, and they need a local artist, boom, there you are.
Yeah, so that's been quite good. I mean, but I will say this, and we'll say this until the day I pop my clogs. Russo is the best sort of marketing PR guy ever. He goes to every single show in our scene. Always Leeds, always Manchester. If it's a bigger band, he'll go to both Leeds and Manchester. He'll talk to everyone. He'll talk to merch guys. He'll talk to all that. Just get more and more people, and then we just see our listeners pop up, and our listeners sort of do that. So I'd say that's like a big thing for us. Has just been him going to shows, and then we try and go to local shows as much as we can.
I try and do this,
especially in our scene.
I think this is a thing that, and I've banged on about this time and time again. Local shows, it's like a $5 or a $10. Sometimes it's free.
Yeah.
And you meet people, you know people, they appreciate it a lot. And you discover good music, man. You know, like
100%.
There's so much good shit like going on in your local scene. And like you said, with Russo and his marketing exploits, like I think there's a lot to that. I've been blessed in that it's helped me to do podcasts and get guests for the show. I think that it just establishes good faith. Like, you're not just kind of walking around trying to get something. Like, you have genuine interest. You're interested, engaged in the scene, interested in music. You know, that's always going to go down well. Like, it's a fact of the matter.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, where do you stand on the whole major label versus indie label debate? I feel like you'd be perfect on an indie label, personally. Maybe even an American label. But where do you sit?
Because the problem is now a lot of indies in our scene have been picked up by majors, so some pretty cool stuff like Wax Bodega. I mean, they're big now, but they had Hot Mulligan, Arm's Length, loads of really cool. I think Free Throw as well. Best gig I've ever been to see live was in Rebellion. Those days are gone. 10-year anniversary. They're there. Amazing. So yeah, I'd say I'd love to be on Wax Bodega. I think the dream is a publishing deal. If you can do your, so I think Shikari have one with Pius. So they own all of their masters, all that sort of thing. I think that's the deal, and then they get they use Pius to publish their albums out, and for things like making physicals and stuff like that. So I think that's the deal. I'm not 100% sure. Please don't quote me on that. But like a publishing deal seems perfect. If we could grow enough momentum to be able to sort of do kind of not need the big machine, but then be able to sort of have someone support us on the publishing side, that'd be fantastic. I think also it completely depends on the act. I think you probably agree as well. Like, we'd fit great on an indie or like an indie label, but then like an amazing pop act that could then do well on TV and things like that, and all that, and you know, get out there within sort of, well, it's no longer TV really now, is it? But like more popular content creators, a lot of, you know, sort of interaction with people on YouTube, things like that. If I think, you know, yeah, great, go for a major label. I mean, I would be lying if I said I wouldn't accept it. That's because it is that lift that would be fantastic. But the creative control issues might have some, but that's the problem, isn't it? It's creative control from major labels is a real problem, I think. But how about yourself, mate? What would you say?
I think I would really appreciate the resources of an indie label. Maybe I need support. Like I desperately need a band. I need funds and stuff. That's always been a drag for me. But I'm very kind of protective about my music. I just feel like no one should own your music except for you. I just, you know what I mean? Like, you made it, you wrote that. Like, how dare they make money off of it? But then it is a business, so yeah. But I just think these days, like, as much as the industry is kind of screwed and everything's just kind of up in the air, there's still always the chance that you can make it on your own. Yeah. Yeah, which there just wasn't, say, like 30 years ago. So that's a big difference for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you see like certain bands on TikTok just blowing up massively. So like a band like Good Terms, who are kind of like post-hardcore, kind of Under Oath, but then mixed with like a bit of American metalcore sort of stuff. But they just posted this thing about a clip, how their song goes. Really sort of pop punk, easy core, quite a day to remember chorus, really happy sort of bit, and then goes into this sort of disgusting, janky breakdown. And they made a clip about that, and that went massive, and that's enabled them to do really, really, really big shows, like and go on and do some really cool stuff, like the Musora stuff. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube, where a band would cover a song and then they do like a set as well. So they did Blondie. They did a Blondie tune and then did all that. So yeah, like opportunities like that, I doubt would have arisen if they hadn't done the TikTok thing. But so I do see the benefit, but then also but they're doing it on their own. I think. Don't quote me, but I think so. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd maybe like that way. That way would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna throw you a random left ball question. Recently, an AI artist was featured on BBC Introducing.
Oh.
What are your thoughts on this and AI music as a concept?
I think, as an experiment, perfect, great, do it, go ahead, whatever. Have it count in the charts and have it count as as any kind of meaningful kind of thing. I personally think you shouldn't be able to release it. In my opinion, like releasing maybe as like a sound clip or something like that, just be like, oh, this is pretty cool, like put it on TikTok or put it on this or put it on wherever like that. But being able to put it on a distribution service or or with a YouTube or like maybe YouTube as a full song or things like that. I think it can't be monetary. You can't do that because you're taking away from people who have spent their entire life trying to build, trying to do something, trying to make something meaningful, gain connections, gain all that, and just completely removing the point. Was it BBC? It wasn't Hereford and Worcester. Was it Stoke? Or something, or Warwick?
I'm not sure, but
was it all his beats were AI? Was it all his beats?
So they interviewed this guy. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck me. Something like that. Yeah, like all the music he produced with AI, and it was clearly an example of like someone at the BBC introducing team had just not like reviewed it or something, and they have to listen to it. Like I don't know, I'm sure you've done it, but like I sent all my stuff in, and it says like someone's listened to it, sometimes several people listen to it, and then if it gets used, it gets used, and they'll let you know. I suppose it's feasible that they don't do like big checks on things, but I feel like you kind of have to, really. If
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that was bad press for them. And the BBC needs as much good press as it can get these days, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I just think that there's, if you're taking the point of music away from music by having AI. Do you know what I mean? Like, music is about internal creation, the opportunity to display your idea, your feelings, the way that you would think about something out into the world through your own method of singing, rapping, producing a beat, playing guitar, playing bass, playing drums. That's what it like into some kind of cohesive or non-cohesive sound form, and AI is doing none of that. I mean, like it's like the only thing is I do see, and this is the only thing, so please don't cancel me on this, is rappers do rap over beats that are online. They are not all rappers make their own beats, but
that's fine.
in my view, the rapper should either work with or pay someone who creates the beat properly, because then it's more money going to artists. It's more shout outs for the artist, for the producer, just things like that. It's like AI is removing the idea. I think AI removes the idea of profitability and soul from music. That's my opinion.
That's the big one for me, because I see it as a tool. I use it for things like podcasting, and it's a really effective tool. It can be really useful in conjunction with the things that you're doing, right? Yeah. But to like purely create a thing using AI, that's for me is the contention point. So if it's like I see it on, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but like I see just endless adverts on YouTube of like, hey, use Co-Creator, and it's like someone, as I understand, it's like let's say you're using like Logic or some shit, and for those who don't know, it's like music production software. And so you'll sing a tune, you'll be like, and then you'll put it into that, and then it will change your voice, pitch correct it, all these things. Now, don't get me wrong, things like pitch correction have been around for years. That's, auto-tune, that's fine. But it will completely change it. So if your voice is, let's say, quite low, like, and it will take it to like, and it's like, I feel like that's false representation. I feel like that's a lie. Like, it's not real.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, when I go listen to your music, it's real. That's three dudes playing that music, and it's real. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Whereas if it's like you release a song and you can't actually sing that way, I kind of feel like, what's the point? And some people might argue, well, music.
Some days I can't, though. So some days I can't sing that way. I will say. I will say. Some days I listen back to my performances. I'm like, what was I doing there? But I do see what you mean. Yeah, 100%.
Everyone has a bad day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
it's one thing to like maybe not sing to your full potential one day, but like it's another when you write, or rather prompt something to be created for you and you can't do it. Like, I just feel like that's a lie. You're misleading people. I don't know. And the concept of AI music is kind of baffling to me, because I think it's fun in some instances. I think its use. I thought it was great. Like the example I thought was great was when it was used on that Beatles track, and it was able to kind of take something that actually was created and was a real thing that had been written, and it gave the Beatles an opportunity, because they tried it in the 90s when George was still alive, and they just couldn't make it work for whatever reason. Like the recording was just too degraded, or not degraded. That's the wrong word. It had like just. It was too, I don't know, muddy, cloudy. They just couldn't achieve what they wanted to achieve with it, so they just kind of shelved it. But then they returned to it, and they're like, all right, let's give this a final try and see if it can work. And AI was able to successfully kind of unearth it and bring John's voice back to life. And it wasn't like they created a new track out of it, more or less. Like they didn't overuse it. It was part of the song, but it wasn't all of the song. And now it's left as a beautiful kind of lasting final track for the band. And I just thought that was a good use of AI maybe in music.
Absolutely. I think because was it part of that Get Back thing? They did the 8-hour Disney Plus thing, and then was it part of that?
No, it was just a final track called Now and Then. But I think Get Back, from what I understand, had already been released many years prior, but it was being re-released on Disney Plus. They might have used AI to like
enhance their video, maybe, because they had that 8-hour stuff. They had like that full 8-hour special, which I watched all of. I was obsessed. I just watched it, like watching the way they were writing and stuff, and it was absolutely incredible. And I agree with that. Like, you know, I mean, you know, John Lennon, for all his faults, was an amazing songwriter, brought so many people together as a general idea and view, but he was able to contribute one last thing, you know, and I think that's quite cool. I think that's quite a cool idea.
Right, a couple of final questions for you to round off today's show.
Cool.
What has music taught you about life?
Have no expectation of anything, in good and bad.
Yeah.
In good and bad, I think. In good, just take a chance on whatever. Just like submit to a festival, submit to a radio station, things like that. Like, so my band before this one, a band called Cheating Lights, we just submitted to Kerrang, Fresh Blood, and with our last release, Howl. And and because of that reach, we were put as Artist of the Week and played on Kerrang all week, which was great for us. It was great for us. We got so many more listens and things like that. I actually think we'd broken up by the time we'd sent it in, but we still got more listens. So that was something. And then also don't expect anything, because of the things like, you know, people not necessarily turning up to your shows and things like that. But then when they do turn up, it's great, and when they don't turn up, it doesn't really affect you that much.
Yeah, I was just trying to enjoy getting a gig. Like right now, I've not had gigs since September, so I'm like, hey, any and all gigs. I don't care if there's no one there. So I'm just grateful to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, same as well. I don't want it to also seem that way.
No. That's not what I meant at all. I just meant it's in general. Yeah. It's like what I took from what you said is just being grateful.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I probably should have said. It's just be grateful for anything.
I think that's what I took from. I'm sure that's what the listeners took from.
Yeah. Just me being sad, typical emo band.
I mean, it's true, man. It can get you down. Like what you're saying is not wrong. It's certainly the experience I've had, and everyone has a slightly different experience. But it absolutely just throw yourself out there, see what happens.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Get the songs right. It's honestly get the songs right together. So get your songs down, do all that before you think about going out to release something. I mean, have your core, depending on whether you want to do half an hour, depending on when you want to do an hour. Like, we don't have enough to do an hour yet, so we're not going to play an hour. We're not going to play 45 minutes. We'll play half an hour really, really well, and that will be it. And we've got half an hour really good, really down. I mean, for us and in our own opinion. But yeah, like, just before you want to go out and play live, get your songs tight, get your songs down, and don't worry about an image. I mean, I love a good jumper and a pair of jeans. Like, the guitarist likes sweats, our drummer likes sweats. It's fine. I think image is good if you need it, but we don't need it where we are. So just get the music down, in my opinion.
I agree, but I do think, certainly in today's world, like, image counts for something. I don't know.
Yeah,
unless the gimmick is we don't give a fuck about our look, then it's like, fair enough. But
so in our photos and stuff, it's all branded. So there'll be colours that are associated and things like that, and like in all of our pictures. So we've got a song coming out on the 28th called LA. So all the colours are bright or warm or things like that. So it's all kind of trying to replicate that, I guess, loose Americana kind of feel. So yeah, just all that sort of thing. So just ensuring that that comes across. So there is a point to, like, having so we ensure that we do look kind of similar, but then also you don't need it in every way. I think an image is great. I don't think it applies to us too much.
What's the biggest life lesson you've learned so far?
Oh dear. That's a big one. That's a big one. Oh wow. Don't be work shy. I think that's the main one. Don't be work shy. Like, but in everything, just don't be work shy.
Couldn't agree more. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Mike. This hour has flown
thanks,
by.
Christian. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Final question. Do you have any upcoming projects or final thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners?
So we've got a single coming out on the 28th. So it might already be out by the time this comes out. So please go listen to it.
Yes.
It's called LA. Please go stream it. We'll have check out our Instagram, which is Hospital Radio Full Stop, and all our gigs will be on there. Should have a merch site by then as well. So please just go check it out, buy some merch, support your local emo artists.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thanks so much, Christian.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And to all the listeners, the watchers, viewers, whatever you want to call it, of the Christian Reeve Podcast, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.